Welcome to Meddling Talks, the show where health meets everyday life. I'm Dr. Jean-Pierre Kabongo, family physician, health advocate, and founder of the HOMESTEADication Movement. Imagine this. You move to a new country full of dreams, opportunities, and a better future for your family. You start eating what everyone else eats: burgers, fries, breakfast cereals, muffins, soda. It's convenient, cheap, and everywhere. But slowly, without noticing, your waistline grows, your energy drops, and your blood sugar climbs. What happened? You didn't change your life. The food changed you. Today, we're diving into something that has quietly shaped global health over the past century: the American Standard Diet, sometimes called the SAD diet. It's everywhere, from fast food chains to supermarket shelves. It's cheap, it's tasty, it's convenient. But it's also one of the main reasons behind the explosion of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease across the planet. In this episode, we'll break it down step by step. First, I'll explain what the standard American diet really is and how it became so common. Then we'll take a short journey into its history, how it was born in the US and spread across the world. We'll look at how immigrants fall into its traps when adapting to North American life. After that, we'll analyze its composition and why it's so dangerous for your body. And finally, we'll explore how you can replace it with a truly healthy, practical, and sustainable way of eating, one that reconnects you with your roots and your health. So, if you've ever wondered why the modern diet makes us sick and how to reclaim your energy and vitality through real food, this episode is for you. Let me tell you about Amandeep and Kuldeep Singh, an immigrant couple from India who came to Canada 5 years ago with their 2 children from back home. They ate mostly lentils, vegetables, and homemade flatbreads, but life here was busy. They discovered drive-thrus, frozen pizza, and family combo meals at the supermarket. Within 2 years, Aman developed pre-diabetes, Kuldeep gained 25 pounds, and their children, only 8 and 10, refused to eat vegetables. Their story is not unique. It's the story of millions of families around the world, and the story of how the American way of eating has become the global diet. But really, what is the American Standard Diet? The American Standard Diet, or SAD, refers to the typical eating pattern followed by most people in North America. It's a diet high in calories but low in nutrients. What is the origin and historical context of this diet? The roots of the SAD go back to the Industrial Revolution and the rise of the food processing industry in the late 19th century. Before industrialization, Americans ate mostly homegrown, seasonal, unprocessed foods: vegetables, grains, meat, eggs, and milk from small farms. Then came refined flour, sugar, canned goods, and frozen foods. The 1950s, 1970s marked the golden era of processed food marketing. TV dinners, breakfast cereals, soda, and fast food became cultural symbols of convenience and progress. Above were fueled by one of the biggest lie in nutritional research led by Ansel Keys and the 7 Countries study. That bogus study mislabeled all fats as the causes of obesity and cardiovascular disease. The 1980s and 1990s saw the low-fat craze, that major dietary trend, particularly in North America and Western countries where fat, especially dietary fat from animal and plant sources, was largely blamed for causing heart disease and obesity, which ironically led people to replace fat with more refined sugars. Before European colonization and the introduction of processed foods, refined sugar, and sedentary lifestyles, diabetes was rare to almost non-existent among indigenous populations whose traditional diets were high in fiber, low in refined carbohydrates, and included wild plants, corn, beans, squash, game meat, and fish. Nowadays, some tribal communities show much higher diabetic prevalence, up to 25–30% in adults, such as Pima Indians of Arizona.
The World Health Organization, WHO, estimate the global prevalence of insulin resistance to range from 26% to 30%, pre-diabetes about 11%, while 1 in 9 of the 8 billion world population has diabetes.
The American diet we know today is the result of industrial convenience, aggressive marketing, and lifestyle acceleration, not of traditional nutrition. The global spread. Through globalization, this dietary model spread worldwide. American fast food chains became status symbols in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Supermarkets in developing countries now look identical to those in New York or Toronto. Unfortunately, the export of this diet also meant the export of its diseases: diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and fatty liver disease. In many countries, people see the Western diet as a sign of modernity or success, without realizing it's a silent colonization of their metabolism. How do immigrants get trapped and consequences of this trap? For immigrants arriving in North America, the transition can be particularly dangerous. They often move from fresh, traditional, mostly organic foods from their country of origin to an environment dominated by processed, cheap, ready-to-eat meals. At first, it feels convenient, fast, tasty, affordable, but soon it leads to weight gain, insulin resistance, and chronic fatigue. Many immigrant families lose their traditional cooking habits because of long working hours or cultural adaptation pressure. The irony is that the diet they leave behind, beans, lentils, vegetables, teff, fonio, millet, sorghum, yams, was often organic, healthier than what they find here, which is mostly man-made and ultra-processed. In my practice, I've seen how this confusion around food also creates family conflict, especially among immigrant families trying to adjust to North American life. In some cases, one parent is conservative, wanting to preserve traditional eating habits, while the other tries to adapt quickly to what seems modern or healthy according to supermarket labels. I remember a family where children quickly got used to the sugary snacks and breakfast cereals their well-intentioned mothers were giving them, thinking they were nutritious. Meanwhile, the father, often more traditional, would protest, warning that this new way of eating was harmful. Over time, the mother started criticizing the father in front of the children, saying he was too strict, too traditional, while she appeared as the loving one because she gave them sweet food. The tension grew, fueled by adjustment pressure due to other changes in family dynamics, and sadly, the divorce happened. So you see, food isn't only about nutrients, it can affect relationships, family harmony, and cultural identity. Fortunately, Amandeep and Kuldeep managed to successfully adjust and reverse the trend. What was Kuldeep's turning point? This happened for Kuldeep when I told him his blood sugar was now in the diabetic range. He was shocked. But I don't even eat dessert, he said. What he didn't realize was that his entire diet was dessert in disguise. From the healthy breakfast cereal with 20 grams of sugar to the white bread sandwich to the evening soda, his blood sugar never had a break. That day, he decided to learn about what he was eating. And that's when he discovered the truth about the standard American diet, that it's designed for taste, not for health. What is the composition and main components of the standard American diet? The standard American diet is rich in calories but poor in nutrients. It's based on 3 pillars. A. Refined carbohydrates, mostly from white bread, pasta, pastries, sweet. B. Processed unhealthy fats, often industrial oils, trans fats. C. Animal proteins and usually fried fast food. Add to that enormous portion sizes, constant snacking, and hidden sugars in everything from ketchup to yogurt. The SAD diet typically contains 50–60% refined carbs, mostly from white bread, pasta, and sugar. 30–40% fat, often from industrial oils, fried foods, and processed meat. Less than 10% fiber, far below what the body needs for gut health, 25–35 grams a day. Excessive sodium 3–4 recommended levels. Additives, emulsifiers, colorants, and preservatives that alter gut microbiota. Why SAD is dangerous? The SAD diet causes constipation and creates a metabolic storm in the body. Causes insulin resistance, the first step toward type 2 diabetes. Increases visceral fat, which inflames arteries and organs, cause hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases such as stroke and heart attack. Alters the gut microbiome, hence weakening immunity, and affects mental health. Studies link ultra-processed foods to depression and anxiety, contributes to cancer risk through chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. That's why experts call it a silent poison. It looks harmless, but it erodes health from the inside. The tragedy is that it's marketed as normal food. It's everywhere. It's what our children see on every screen every day. How to replace it? You don't need to eat less. You need to eat real. Here's how to transition away from the SAD diet. Cook at home, regain control of ingredients, and transform your kitchen into your first pharmacy, as we believe in homesteadication. Reduce refined flour and sugar. Switch to whole grains. Choose water over soda or juice. Eat colors, vegetables, and fruits in every meal. Include natural fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts. Limit red and processed meats, opt for fish or legumes. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store, fresh produce, not the middle aisles. Avoid foods with more than 5 ingredients or those you can't pronounce. Eat mindfully, slow down, chew well, listen to your body. Reconnect with your cultural roots. Traditional diets often hold the key to longevity, the best replacement diet. The diet that consistently shows better results for heart health, longevity, and weight. Control is the Mediterranean diet, or its cultural equivalents. It's rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, healthy fats, mainly olive oil, moderate fish and dairy, minimal red meat, no processed junk. In essence, it's the opposite of the standard American diet, simple, fresh, and full of life. The journey, the solution, or transformation. Slowly, the Kuldeep family began to change. They replaced white rice with lentils, quinoa, and brown rice. They learned to read food labels, avoiding anything that started with high fructose, corn syrup. They packed their lunches with home-cooked meals instead of fast food. Most importantly, they stopped drinking calories. No more soda, energy drinks, or bottled juices. And the results were remarkable. Within 3 months, Kuldeep's blood sugar dropped, Amandeep lost 10 pounds, and their children began to enjoy fruits and vegetables again. The family didn't just lose weight, they regained control. Today, Kuldeep says he feels alive again. I even reduced his hypertension medication, hoping to completely withdraw them if he continues to respect and apply good lifestyle. But the most important change happened at home. Family dinners came back. They now sit together, cook together, and eat together, the way it used to be back home. The standard American diet had almost stolen their health and their connection as a family. But through awareness and small daily changes, they reclaimed both. So what can we learn from the above Amandeep and Kuldeep story? My friends, the standard American diet is not just an American problem. It's a global warning. It teaches us to choose speed over quality and pleasure over health. But the power to change is in your hands, in your kitchen, and in your habits. Start small. Cook more at home, eat whole foods, cut sugary drinks, and rediscover the natural taste of real food. As I often say in the HOMESTEADication Movement, make your kitchen your first pharmacy and your food your first medication. Thank you for listening. If you found this podcast helpful, subscribe, share, and join MediLink Talks